Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Angie and I'm really glad that you're here. I hope that you hit a thumbs up if you like this video and hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified when I upload more. I wanted to take a few minutes and introduce myself. I'm going to take my glasses off because there's a glare. I wanted to take a few minutes and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about why I made this channel to begin with. A couple of years ago, my husband and I made the decision to really begin the downsizing and simplifying process. So what we realized was we had a tremendous amount of excess. Excess clothing, excess belongings, excess like everything, accessories, you name it, we had too much of it. We decided to simplify things and start going through things. I had dresses hanging in my closet that I felt horrible about how much I had paid for them. I wore them 2-3 times maybe, loved them when I bought them, wore them a few times, but they were so specific that once I wore them a couple of times, I felt like it stood out a lot if I wore them again. So then they just hung in the closet, and then I felt really bad because I spent all this money on something that I only used a small number of times, and now it's just hanging in the closet. So I ended up with an entire closet full of clothing like that. Either jeans and t-shirts or sweats. I live in sweats. Man, do I live in, I have more sweatpants than any one person should own. I'm not downsizing my sweatpants, trust me. But the rest of the stuff I just really felt was excessive. The dress clothes, the clothes. When I worked in corporate America, I dressed nicer. When I went to a different church, I dressed nicer. I don't need to do that any longer for a variety of reasons. So all of this was just excess, and it was just taking up space in my closet and making me feel bad about how much money that I had spent. It was like a big neon sign every time I walked in the closet. Look at all this money you wasted. That's what it felt like. It was very stressful, and I didn't want to feel that anymore. It came as a call to arms on Facebook. I saw a local charity, a local homeless shelter, asking for clothing supplies, and I thought, you know what, we've got a tremendous amount of clothes that we don't need. All of us did. So we started that process. That's what really kicked us off. I won't lie. Once I started, it was tough. It was tough to look at those items of clothing and think, wow, I spent way too much money on that and now I'm just going to give it away. It felt like I was wasting money again. But what I finally realized was I was that money was gone. Like, right? I'd already spent it. I already bought the clothing. It's hanging in the closet. I'm not going to get that money back no matter what I do, right? So I can either let it go to waste in my closet and continue to make me feel bad, or I can donate it to somebody like a homeless shelter, or there's a couple of organizations in our local area that run clothing closets for people who are trying to get off the streets or trying to better themselves. So they supply them with clothes that are interview appropriate and work appropriate so that they can get started. Because if you're not working, if you're going from sweats or jeans to corporate America, but you don't get paid for 2 or 3 weeks and you're really paycheck to paycheck, or even, less than paycheck to paycheck, you don't have the money to go out and buy work appropriate clothing or even really an outfit for the interview. So these organizations provide clothes for that purpose. That felt to me like far less of a waste than just leaving this hanging in the closet and making me feel bad. It felt like I was putting the money that I had spent to an appropriate use. So that's what we did. We just started purging. I will tell you, it was hard to start. Once I started, it was kind of addictive. And I had to really, wow, you guys, I'm seeing my hair's crazy. I have the world's worst haircut. So sorry about that. Like 2 haircuts ago was ridiculously bad. So I keep going back and getting things trimmed up and evened out. But like it's so bad it can't be fixed. Right now my hair would be like an inch long all over, and that's not going to happen. So sorry, I just got distracted by my hair. But anyway, once I got started, it was totally, it was kind of addictive, and I wanted to get rid of like a lot of things. I was like, let's get rid of this and let's get rid of that, and we can do this. And a lot of that were things that we needed, items that we used in pretty much every day. So like, no, you can't give away everything that we own. But so be careful of that. But it is truly freeing. It was very stress relieving. It reduced my stress level tremendously, and it was It was comforting, and it was reassuring to know that those items were going to good use. We took probably 90% of what we purged to the homeless shelters. Kids' clothes, my husband's clothes, my clothes, a tremendous amount of like kitchen appliances, small kitchen appliances, blenders, mixers, toaster ovens, that sort of thing, to the homeless shelter for either their use or to be given to people as they work their way out of homelessness and found an apartment or found living arrangements, so that they had some things to take with them to get them started, a helping hand on the way up. My husband and I have both experienced difficult times, and we were very blessed to have a lot of family and a lot of friends to support us during those times, to help us, to reach back and pull us up when we were struggling to climb those hills. We want to make sure that we're doing the same thing. We're not struggling financially right now. We want to make sure that we're reaching back and pulling up people that might need a helping hand. So that's what we're trying to do. We did a big major purge, and then about 6 months later we did a smaller purge. And what we came to recognize was we still had a long way to go, and we still had too much, and the house that we lived in itself was too much and needed to be purged. We lived in a beautiful house. It was stunning. I won't lie, it was stunning. And sometimes I miss the prettiness of that house. But it was a huge ranch with a finished lower level. The lower level was 60 feet long by 23 feet wide, and it was one huge room. We used that room maybe 3 days a year, and for 3 or 4 hours at a time. Otherwise, my son used it when his friends came over and spent the night. That was it. That was the only time it got used. That's not an appropriate use of space. Like, that's just a waste of space. We lived in less than half of the square footage of that house. I had a knee injury. I tore the meniscus in my knee, and it became an issue to where I couldn't clean that house. I also have arthritis in my hands, my fingers, my wrists, and my ankles. So vacuuming large spaces like that, using any appliance that has a lot of motion to it or a lot of vibration to it like that, like a vacuum cleaner, the lawnmower, edge trimmers, that type of thing, I can't do. If I'm fine while I'm doing it, but a few hours after that, I lose so much of my ability to move comfortably, to hold a pen or a pencil or a coffee cup, anything like that becomes exceedingly difficult. So it just wasn't worth it. It was extremely painful to me to clean the house. I'm particular about how clean my house is. I want my house to look nice. I feel better when it's clean. I feel less stress when it's clean. I'm not really able to relax if the house isn't cleaned. Even if I sit down and try to read a book, the thought keeps going through I should dust, I should vacuum, I should mop the floor, I should do a little laundry, I should do this, I should do that, I should do the other. I think a lot of women feel that way, but I think I took it way overboard, particularly in that house because of the size of it. So it was difficult, and it was just too much house for us. I mean, we didn't need it. There were other families that could utilize that space far better than we could. We have 5 children, so when we have major events, and most of the events are at our house, most of the holidays are here at our house, most of the Grand Doorables birthday parties were at our house, but it wasn't enough to keep that house just for us. Like, we didn't use the house enough, or enough of the house to make it worthwhile. So we decided to downsize the financial obligation, downsize the size of the house, downsize our belongings, and we need to downsize ourselves. Prior to buying that ranch, we lived in a 4-level split, and we went up and down. You had to go up and downstairs to go anywhere. Like, you want to drink water, you got to go up the stairs. You want to go to the garage, you got to go down the stairs. If you want to go to the living room, you got to go up some more stairs. If you want to go to the bedroom, you got to go up more. Those stairs kept us in check, and we didn't realize how much until we moved out. We ballooned over the 6 years we lived in that ranch. Like, my husband and I ballooned, and we were not little people before we bought the ranch, but we got much bigger even then. Now, my husband has a disorder in his knees. He has a bone disease in his knees, and he's had that since he was a child. That's not related to the fact that he's overweight, but being overweight certainly doesn't help that. He's also had 2 hernia surgeries, and he broke his foot and had surgery on that. So he lost a lot of mobility with those surgeries and because of his knee. I tore the meniscus in my knee. I knew we were going to sell the ranch. I didn't know when, and I was new to the position that that I was in at that time. And I worked for somebody whose opinion mattered a great deal to me. So I didn't want to take time off work right away to have it repaired or really to even have it looked at. Like I said, I knew it was probably going to be the meniscus. I knew it was probably going to require surgery. And I knew that we were probably going to move. So I just decided to wait until all of that was done and over. So I babied that knee for like a year and a half, and I ended up needing a full knee replacement. So I had the meniscus surgery, didn't get a great deal of relief from that, had the full knee replacement, those, and we moved. So those things really all piled up to limit my mobility. And again, we had moved into the ranch. So we really decided we needed to become more fit. We need to downsize our belongings. We need to downsize our bodies. We need to become more active, more fit. I'm trying to stay out of the sun. I feel like it was cloudy when I started this video and now it's not cloudy. I feel really weird, but so we decided to start this YouTube channel as a way to hold ourselves accountable. So this is going to be a channel dedicated to cleaning, to upgrading our townhouse. We're in a very small townhouse right now. It's okay. It's got a weird shape to it, so I don't know if we'll stay in it long term. But we're upgrading it. You'll see like we have some crown molding up here. We've done that. There's a wall that separates the living room from the kitchen, and we have opened that up. We've made it a pony wall, a half wall, so you can now stand in the kitchen and talk to and see the people in the living room, which is really nice. And it's also let a tremendous amount of light in, as like some of this is from this window. Whoop, this window here. Most of it's coming from behind, from the patio doors, which you would not have seen with that wall up before. But at any rate, and we have some other projects where our youngest son is moving out. His carpet is atrocious, 18-year-old monster drinks, pizza, and dogs. Do I need to see any more? It's terrible. So the carpeting's all getting replaced. I want new countertops and I want a new sink. I don't know if that will happen all at once. We'll have to see. When I say we're not financially struggling, we're not struggling to pay the bills, but we don't have a lot of money to, like, I don't want to spend $10,000 upgrading the kitchen. That's crazy to me. Especially in a townhouse I'm not like over the moon with. You know what I mean? If I were like, this is my forever home and I'm going to make it exactly the way I want, sure. I might go further then. $10,000 on this kitchen would gut it. It's tiny. You'll see that in some videos too, but at any rate, so we have those home improvement projects coming up that we're going to do, and you'll see that. Phil is a cross stitcher. You'll see some of his work. It's stunning. The man is crazy, crazy talented. And you'll also see, I got to move this because this is ridiculous. There, that's better. Now you're getting too much of me, and I'm sorry about that, but you'll see some of his work, and you'll also see, I like to paint, so you'll see some of my painting also. This is the wall I was telling you about, that we took that wall, used to go all the way to the ceiling, and now it doesn't, and that's pretty much my entire kitchen right there that you're looking at. So that's what this channel is dedicated to. It's dedicated to downsizing and simplifying and organizing and holding us accountable. So right now you're going to see an obese chick cleaning her house. Sorry, that's what it is. But hopefully over time you'll see that obese chick start to shrink, and that's really the point, is for us to track what we're doing and for us to be able to say, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it and this is how we're doing it. And so we invite you to join us on this journey. We're glad you're here, and we hope you stick around, and we will talk to you soon. And I'm going to sign off with the name of my channel. Love always, Angie.